Here's a question for you. Are you ready to find out how much money I made from XRP in 2025? Or maybe you want to know what's going on with the SEC case and when it will end. Well, this is not the video for you because I'm not going to talk about any of that stuff. Instead, I'm going to tell you a story about my experience with XRP in 2025 and why it was one of the best decisions I ever made. So let me start at the beginning. 2025 was a tough year for cryptocurrency investors. Bitcoin and Ethereum were both down more than 60%, and most altcoins were performing even worse. However, XRP was one cryptocurrency that was bucking the trend. In fact, XRP was up more than 300% year to date. Now, if you're thinking that's impossible, I don't blame you. But it's true. And if you want proof, just check the charts. So what happened? How did XRP go from being a little-known altcoin to one of the best-performing assets of the year? Well, there are a few factors that contributed to XRP's success in 2025. First, we had the overall trend of the cryptocurrency market. As I mentioned earlier, Bitcoin and Ethereum were both down more than 60% year to date. However, XRP was bucking the trend. In addition, the cryptocurrency market as a whole was starting to mature. More and more institutional investors were entering the market, and they were looking for assets that had strong fundamentals. XRP met those criteria. It had a solid team behind it. It had a clear use case in the global payment system, and it had a strong community of supporters. Second, we had some major technological developments. In April of 2025, Ripple announced the launch of its highly anticipated cryptocurrency exchange. The XRP ecosystem was starting to come together, and this was a major catalyst for the price of XRP. Finally, we have to talk about the regulatory environment. As you probably know, the SEC has been trying to regulate XRP as a security. However, they have been unsuccessful so far, and I don't think they will be successful in the future. The lawsuit has been going on for years with no resolution in sight. This has created a lot of uncertainty around XRP, but ultimately, I think it's going to work out in favor of XRP. The SEC simply does not have the authority to regulate cryptocurrencies, and I believe that the Supreme Court will eventually rule that XRP is not a security. All of these factors combine to create the perfect storm for XRP's success in 2025. The price of XRP started to skyrocket in July of 2025, and it continued to climb until it reached a peak of 380 in September. That's right. XRP hit a new all-time high of 380 in 2025, which was more than double its previous all-time high of 190. As you can imagine, I was extremely happy with how XRP performed in 2025. I made a lot of money on my investment, and I'm very bullish on the future of XRP. If you're wondering how much money I made, I'm not going to say because it's not relevant. What is relevant is that anyone who invested in XRP in 2025 made a lot of money. So what's the lesson here? The cryptocurrency market is still very young, and there is a lot of money to be made. If you're willing to do your research and invest in projects that you believe in, you can make a lot of money. Don't be afraid to take risks, and don't be afraid to invest in altcoins. Just do your research and only invest what you can afford to lose. If you follow these simple tips, I guarantee you will make money in cryptocurrency. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. I post similar content every day. If you have any questions or comments, please post them below. I'll be happy to answer any questions, and I look forward to hearing your thoughts. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.